Hello and welcome to this episode of Masters of Industry brought to you by Business Elites Africa. As you may well know, the future of work is digital and only those who possess the right digital skills can excel. In Africa, however, there is a wide gap between the digital opportunities that exist and available skilled talent. This is a major problem, one that Tobi Asehinde is trying to solve with his startup, Digital Marketing Skills Institute, DMSI. We recently visited with him at his Ikoyi office to learn more about his digital agenda for Africa, as well as to discuss other wide-ranging topics. Enjoy the conversation. My name is Emmanuel Abarabensi.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Tobi Asehinde. I'm the founder and CEO of Digital Marketing Skills Institute. My journey in entrepreneurship began much at a younger age, right? I mean, the good part also was that I had an advantage also because my both parents were entrepreneurs, right? And I remember in college, I used to, then I would I know where to get the textbooks for cheaper price, and then I get my mates to buy their textbooks through me and things like that, and I make small money from it. So, but fast forward, I went to the UK to school, in University of Portsmouth, studied computer engineering, a master's degree. And while I was there in the final year of the master's degree, so a lot of people say, why do I always say master's, final year master's degree? Well, it's because I studied an MEng. And so the peculiarity about the MEng is that you don't actually have a bachelor's degree. So you have so you call it Masters of Engineering, it's a 4-year master's program, right? From which combines both bachelor's and master's degree together. And so I did that. So in my final year of my master's degree, I teamed up with my housemate to start an hotel booking website. So we hired someone to build the website for us, to market it and things like that. And when we did that, we realized that we had spent our savings and we didn't get any return from it. And so I mean, one of the lessons I got was the fact that marketing was very, very important. It was the bedrock of almost everything. So I had to understand how to market, right? And that was basically how my journey as an entrepreneur, the digital technology entrepreneur, started. The fact that I'm a graduate, I'm a master's degree holder of computer engineering, and using technology now to facilitate digital knowledge between digital knowledge to young people, right, and even old people, because we've had people that are 65 take our course before, and in fact, there's a particular man, is a pastor. He took our course and he has a digital business today that is doing very well. So we use digital technology to accelerate learning around digital marketing, to build talents that would take over, that would help more businesses to be able to achieve the results. So I didn't work for anybody. So one interesting fact is I did a summer internship. That was the closest to work I've done. And aside from that, maybe during holiday, I do work for my dad. My dad carries me to his office, and things like that. So those are the closest things I've had to work. But one of the things that helped me, and I try to advise people also, is to take advantage of where you're working. Don't let the work pass through you, don't pass through the work. So what that means is that, so while I was doing my summer internship, for example, I was building fire alarm systems, right? Doing my internship was a 3-month internship, summer internship. I was building fire alarm systems. But when I finished my fire alarm systems, I'll try and finish as fast as possible. And then I go interact with the accounting, people in accounting, people in finance, people in marketing. And so based on the teach chat that I have with them, I started to understand a bit about structures and things like that. And so those are some of the things that are helping me, right? And also part of the experience I had working with my dad as well. So I didn't have any form of experience. I mean, and also it's also good to note that it was an interesting decision moving back, right? Because I had offers. So like when you do an MEng is a specialized course. So most times you most likely will get a job even before you finish, right? We were just about 9. Imagine you in university, just 9 people in a class. So that's something. So it was more of whatever. So I had offers, but I decided to move back to Nigeria. Obviously then dollar was, the exchange rate was favorable to be in Nigeria than to be over there in terms of, so, but yeah, so no experience, but I've hustled it and figured it out. No, I did talk earlier on about starting a startup with my flatmate. And so when I started that when we did the hotel booking website, we built the website, and I went to America for my brother's graduation. And I was wearing my the startup branded. You know how startups are. You always want to have your branded shirt and things. So I was wearing my branded shirt in America. And people were asking, okay, what's this about? And I told them, oh, it's my startup. And they look at the website, they look at the platform, and the next thing they say is that, oh, can you build a website for me? So they were assuming like I was one that did it because I studied computer engineering. So I was like, no, I did not, what they call it. So I didn't say I did not build a website also, and I didn't say I built the website, but I just heard them out and the like. So interesting thing is that before I left America, I got two people that were going to pay me $1,000 to build a website for them, right? So when I got back to the UK, I sat down and I tried to learn how to how to build a website, because I actually took I didn't turn those jobs down and like that. So I mean, the key to that was that I kind of understood that there was an opportunity here, right? That people needed people with that talent of digital market. So digital marketing is not just about websites. So just to put a disclaimer to that, right? So that there was a gap there. A lot of people were looking for people that had the talent. I became like hot cake. Once people say, oh, can you build a website for me? I'm like, okay, so there was an opportunity here. So that's something that's part of what has inspired it. So in the onset, I had a company called Viber Solutions. And so was running it, was doing digital marketing for businesses, websites, social media advertising, and things like that for different companies. And we realized that, I mean, what other better way to make greater impact, because we couldn't work for everybody, right? Our prices were also extreme, and we're like, okay, so what better way to make greater impact, right, than to replicate ourselves in other people, right? And that was what inspired DMSI. And so we started to train people on how to do what we do, expose them to the opportunities around digital marketing, the fact that they can make money from it, they can open opportunities, they can open doors of opportunities for them both locally and internationally. Because then we were working, I was in Nigeria, I had clients in Gambia, in Kenya, in the US, in the UK, and things like that. So just started to open the opportunity to people that, okay, so there's an opportunity here, you have to tap into it, And that was what inspired DMSI. That's what still inspires us as a company. So we started doing physical training. And then, so we did physical training. We did very well in physical training. And then we realized that, come on, we're a digital company. We should use digital to accelerate this. There's so little that we can do. How many people can we impact with the skill and the physical class at a time? So we're now a fully online platform. We use digital technology to accelerate learnings around digital marketing skills, right? And interesting part is we also have a platform that also connects these people directly to opportunities as well. Do you understand? So that way we are an end-to-end solution when it comes to being able to succeed when it comes to the digital world, basically. And there's so many opportunities around digital marketing. So in DMSI, one of the strongest things that we take very personal is the aspect of being able to provide a good level of support. Do you understand? Being able to provide a good level of support to our students. So we have 3 major programs, and all those programs are built with support, right? That gives you the opportunity not only to learn, but also have support. The other thing we're very big at is practical, right? So our course, we don't believe in exams, so we don't give certificates based on the fact that you do exam. We believe that if someone can cram exam and pass, and tomorrow, because digital marketing is about practicality, right? So you cannot say you can build a website just by mouth. You have to be able to do it. You cannot say you can advertise and drive results for a client. You have to be able to do it. You cannot say you can grow a social media platform, right, by mouth. You have to be able to do it, right? You might be able to talk about all the theoretical aspect, but doing it is a different ballgame, because it requires a couple of disciplines, requires consistency and things like that. So we don't believe in exams, we believe in practicality. And so one of the things that we do in our course is to give you assignments. You have to do projects for every module, for every step that you take in the course. You have to do projects, and those projects, we go as far as marking it, grading it, and giving you feedbacks on them to ensure that you are getting the right result. And we're very strict at it, because if you score below 80%, you do the assignment all over again until you score higher than that, right? Because not only are you passing through our institute, but you are also going to become an ambassador of us. So we want to be sure that you are well grounded. So we have that level, and we also have the aspect where we give you support, right? So we have 3 programs, like I said. The first program is what we call the professional program, right? In that program, you have access to the bundles of courses. We also have bonus courses also. These are like short courses that teach you action things, like how to profit from webinars, how to monetize your YouTube channels and things like that, right? And so we have short courses and likes. You also have access to what we call group support. It happens Monday to Saturdays, except Sundays and public holidays. So you have group support where students come together, there's a coach, they ask questions of what they're not understanding, and the coach gives them support and answers the questions and things like that. We have a live chat support, we have a knowledge base, and we have a vibrant communities of students from different parts of the world, because we've been fortunate enough to have students in different different parts of the world. And so that professional program goes for 250,000 currently, while the master's program, right, which includes the same thing the professional has, but then this you have access to one-on-one support. So you can actually book a support session with a coach, and the coach will come online, ask any question, and he would answer the question, share screen with you, show you anything that you don't understand, and ensure that you actually get the knowledge, that you get the solution to what your problems are of booking that session. So that master's program goes for 350,000 naira currently. And then we have the executive program. So the executive program includes everything the professional and the master's has, but an additional leg where you have access to mentoring sessions with myself, right? And that goes for 700,000. Definitely. I mean, if you look at it, there's always one funny stat that goes around that says that Nigeria is actually one of the top 10 internet users. That's one. The second thing is, even if we're not ready, right, it looks like the universe is trying to make us be ready, right? So if you look at COVID-19, for example, it's forcing businesses all over the world, not just in Nigeria, to adopt digital technology. And in fact, the COVID-19 has even opened a more sweeter opportunity for those with digital marketing skills. So not only has it increased the demand for digital, right, it has also opened a window, an exciting window. So most companies now abroad realize that they can outsource digital stuff outside the country. They can hire digital marketers out of their own country, because obviously people can actually work full time, not just gig work. They can actually hire someone full time that would work remotely and gets paid and things like that, right? So that was happening, but before now, but COVID-19 pandemic, for example, made that more apparent, because companies had to go remote, and so being able to manage a team remotely that you felt you could not do before kind of opens the door that, yeah, we can actually manage someone in Africa, right? Pay the person, and and it made more sense, because you're also trying to recover from economic downturn that was also caused from COVID-19. So you're trying to reduce your cost, and so what better way, if you're going to hire someone local, you pay probably about $5,000 per month. If you're going to hire someone in Africa, you probably pay about $2,005 per month. By the way, let me just put a bit of context to that. So that person earning $5,000 per month is probably paying about $1,500 for rent over there. Mm-hmm. So you have to understand the dynamics of the economy in that side, in that angle. So it's not just about they're charging us. Why don't they pay us the same money that they're paying there? But it's about the economy of scale as well. So we have to just put some context in it. And obviously, right now, if you're earning $2,000, that's $1 million. That's $1 million in Nigeria. So that's good money. A Twitter ban. it's an interesting thing, right? So one angle is I believe that the federal government has their reasons, right? For so many reasons, they could be security reasons, it could be whatever it is. It could also be retaliation to uh, what do you call it, the incident that happened, right? But more importantly, is there could be better ways to also manage um, the situation. So one thing that is there is that definitely Twitter is not as critical as Facebook or Instagram or YouTube as it were in Nigeria. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's good for the platform, for the social network part of it. You get what I'm saying? So definitely it's affected revenue for not for us, but definitely for those that rely on Twitter as their ordinary source, as their only source. And one of the things we teach our students is be um, you have to be omnipresent. You have to use omni-channel strategy where you're not just relying on one platform, but you're relying on multiple platforms to be able to achieve the results that you need, right? So that way you are not necessarily affected if one platform goes down. Because even if Twitter doesn't, if it wasn't federal government that banned Twitter, Twitter could also ban your page. Do you understand what I'm saying? Twitter could shut you off and things like that. So the reality of it is don't rely on just one platform. Be open to experiment on different digital platforms to put your word out there. Do you understand? I think the most hit people are the influencers that have grown their Twitter page, and businesses also that have invested so much in growing their Twitter also definitely has also had some effect. But in all, I think that the importance of diversifying, right, is very, very important. So for me, I see every challenge as some form of blessing that is trying to direct you to a new direction, a new way of doing things, right? And I think that's what's going on right now. So I believe that those in digital marketing have to find ways to maneuver this, right, and adapt to it, while definitely reaching out to the government to find better ways to manage things around social media platforms and the likes. But yeah, but definitely, I'm sure the government has their reasons, but nevertheless, there could be better ways to manage it so it doesn't affect the common person. Do I share their way? For some reason, um, I'm not as worried, right? Because digital marketing and digital space, it's a complex space. Digital space is complex, right? And it's not just in Nigeria that they are, right? So many times, if you follow America, for example, so many times as uh, Mark Zuckerberg, uh, Facebook, Apple, and the likes of them, Google had to go on Senate hearing to defend different things. So it's not a new concept of them trying to regulate it, right? I think it's more about working together than working against each other. Do you understand? And I think that's something that is there. So I mean, there's been so many rules that have affected the way marketing is done. So like for example, you have the GDPR rule, the privacy, the recent one that happened for a few years ago, right? That I mean has restrict certain ways of how you collect people's data, how long you keep the data, and things like that. So those things will continue to happen. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So, but digital marketing is a very complex stuff, and it's also about being creative. So that's why you can't learn something today and just sit on it and feel like you're on top of the world. You have to continually stay on top of your game so that you can continually be on top of the changes that would come. But it's always changing. Even the platforms themselves, the digital platforms themselves, they are always bringing out regulations that will change the dynamics of things. Like Apple is going to release something very soon that would affect email marketing, right? Google has done that where they came up with a promotional inbox, the spam inbox, what they call it, and things like that. So majority of those things would always happen, right? But it's the creativity of marketing, of digital marketing, is what actually supersedes majority of these things. So there would always be policy, but the key to it is that they cannot shut it down. So these questions are always quite interesting. Do you understand? So when you talk about challenges, because like I said earlier on, most times I see challenges as opportunities. Um, there have been numerous challenges. Obviously, operating in a country like Nigeria, you have different forms of challenges. You have the human capital challenge, right? Um, I wouldn't say much of funding challenge for us because we're a bootstrap company. So what that means is that we make our money from the business and grow the business organically, and we've done that successfully over the years. So, but majorly when it comes to getting the right talent, which is also part of why we exist, right? To help businesses to also get the right talent, right? Building. So why I find that question also very difficult is also that because I see that most times if you have the right structure, it becomes a lot much easier. So when it comes to human resource, I've kind of changed my mentality around those issues because I figured that one of the reasons why you have issue when you hire someone and the person is not doing what he's supposed to do is because you yourself might have not given the person the resources that person needs to do. So I believe that so when some of those challenges are, I think once you are able to acquire the knowledge, and that's why you don't put a price to knowledge, right? Because knowledge is very, very, very key to maneuver what they call it, different forms of challenges that you might face. So yeah, so I would say one big problem anyway that exists in Africa or Nigeria is human capital, and that's part of what we are solving. So well, right now we right now we're bootstrapped. Do you understand? In the near future, right, maybe tomorrow, next tomorrow, we might be interested in talking to anybody that is interested in investing. Do you understand? But one of the things that is also there is that we seek a lot of partnerships, right? And we also um, seek, I mean, recently we just started to look into grants, right? And I'm happy to say that we have one right now, right? I can't go full detail right now, right? But we have a company, we have um, a foreign organization that is giving us grants, right, to expand the good work that we are doing in Nigeria, and so they are definitely that's something that we're looking at. Um, I would say one is commitment. Commitment is very, very key. Um, Consistency is also very, very key. So because when it comes to digital marketing, you don't get results today and just let it go. You have to be consistent with it. You have to be committed to it. And I tell people that for you to be able to be committed and consistent, right? And then the other third thing I'm also going to talk about is sacrifice, right? For you to be able to have those three things. So sacrifice means you have to sacrifice some things. A lot of people think when you become an entrepreneur, it automatically means you have more time. But when you become an entrepreneur, you realize that your friends stop calling you to go out with them on Saturdays, right? Right? Because when they call you on Saturdays, maybe it's then that you have a meeting to close a client, and you be like, oh, sorry. By the time you disappoint them like three times, they stop calling you and things like that. So you have what they call it. So the sacrifice, you have to make certain forms of sacrifice, right, in the onset. And because most digital platforms are like you build it, you put in the hard work, and you reap the benefits in the long run. So they are more of like compounding interest, right? So you really would not be able to achieve it. So you have to have that sacrifice. And for you to be able to do those three things, it means that first thing is you must believe that there's gold in digital marketing, which there is. And you also have to believe that it is worth pursuing. That if you focus on it, you'll be able to get the result that you want. Do you understand? So I'll take commitment, consistency, um, sacrifice, determination, right? And what will I call the last one now? So determination in the sense that you have to be determined, right? You have to be determined to achieve results, which will lead me to the last one. So you have to be result driven, right? So the determination and result driven is very, very critical. So a lot of people complain about, oh, I had a digital marketer, I'm not getting the result I want, right? And most times those issues could be in two ways, right? One is either you've had a digital marketer, you're not giving him the resources that he needs. You're also not giving him the time that is required to get the result, but you want the result like yesterday, today, and things like that. Or you have, let's say you have an event in 1 month's time, right? And then you want him to, you are a digital marketer, right? 2 weeks to the event, and you want him to make the event full. It's quite very, very difficult. Even if the event is a free event, it's very, very difficult because it's what we call conversion. So when you, first of all, if you get 1,000 people register, you probably will get a 50% that will finally turn up. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's for a free event. So for a paid event, if you have 1,000 people register, right, you most likely will get about 20% or 10% of those people that will actually pay. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so majority of those things actually take time. So being able to set realistic timeline is very, very key. So, but if you have a digital marketer that is focused on getting results, it becomes a lot much easier. That process becomes a lot much easier if you are patient with the person, because the person is not just going to set up your campaign and then go and sleep. It's going to set up your campaign, look at it, make optimization processes that would ensure that the result that you're looking for comes out, right? So, and the person has to be determined. So determination in two ways, right? Determination to see results and determination to also succeed as a digital marketer. Because online business is a sweet business. You can sleep and you see money in your account, right? It's not a dream. This is what actually happens. You get what I'm saying? You can be anywhere in the world and be able to make the money, right? So when people say that and people hear, oh, I'm in Dubai today and money is coming, and things like that, a lot of people will be like, oh, are you sure? And like that. But the truth of that is what's happening, and that's what digital marketing presents. Like, for example, most of my teams are working remotely, right? Even though because of this interview and a couple of stuff I have to do, I won't be at the office today. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
We're working remotely, doing what we have to do, getting the results that we'll get, right? But the most important thing is understanding that you have to have that determination and understand that you have to put in the work for it to get results. So that's what I think a lot of people are not willing to do, to put in that work into ensuring that they can actually manifest online. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, you run a media outlet, or you have a media outlet online that you're part of, right? And on the media outlet, you know the amount of content that you have to produce to be able to make before you can even start to earn good from AdSense, earn good from advertising, and like that. So if you don't put in the work, you're not consistent with it, you're not determined to see it work, all those things are not going to happen. Yeah. So I typically don't like answering that question, right? So the reason to that is, yeah, I do, but I typically don't like answering that question because I'm very, very selective when it comes to who I want to work with on that particular on those type of projects, right? So, but I do run campaigns for companies.
Okay.
Yeah. We have an agency actually that we don't advertise. We don't talk too much about.
You don't want it to make too much money for you?
Eh?
You don't want it to make too much money for you?
No, it does. It does. But so we, how do I explain it now? We don't want to work with too many people.
Okay.
Right. So we have our clientele, right, and we want to keep it small that way, right? That serve us, whatever, and also because we're not going to be a favorable entry barrier to everybody because of what we do and the price that we charge. Do you understand? But in terms of, that's one of the reasons why we do Digital Marketing Skill Institute, so that we can train people to be able to help people and have more expanded impact, right? And we've also built a platform now, right, called Wins Lancer, that is going to connect these people directly to business owners that will be able to say, oh, I want to build a website. Okay, Let me look for a talent that can help me build a website to build and pay the person and things like that. So what we are doing is to try to see how we can replicate ourselves as regards to we want to be focused more on DMSI and grow it basically. Let's just put it that way. So many things. So first thing first is, like, I don't see what we call competitors, right? So they are competitors without a doubt, but I do not compete with them. Do you understand what I'm saying? And why is that? Is I feel that there's opportunity for everyone, right? And most people that know value would always decide where they want to go to. Do you understand? For us, we have two major values that really differentiate us, right? The fact is that if you want something practical, you come to us, right? If you want to learn digital marketing practically, where there's no other place than us when it comes to that. If you want to learn what they call, if you want support, if you want to not learn digital marketing, get stuck and not know who to turn to, then you come to us. So we provide two major things that are very, very essential when it comes to the journey of learning digital marketing. And recently we've added a third part. If you want access to markets, you want your return on investment from your training. So you're learning digital marketing, you have paid X amount of money for it, you want to make your money back. We've created a platform now that would allow you to be able to achieve that goal, right? And so that's something that highly differentiates us from most competitors out there. For business owners, they have to understand that digital marketing is an essential part. It's important for them to know about digital marketing themselves, right? Even before they hire a digital marketer. So that's why if you go to business school, for example, they teach about finance, right? Even though you're going to hire an accountant. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Because you have to understand how those things work. So you might not be the one to sit down to do the books, right? Because you have an accountant, but you have to be able to understand how it works so that you can be able to make good judgment from it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So the first thing is, as an employer, you have to understand digital marketing. You have to learn digital marketing, understand it so that you can be able to work with your in-house staff. The relationship will be a lot much better. The other thing is that when it comes to digital marketing, in fact, every business owner and every marketer must understand what we call conversion windows, right? And the more you understand your conversion windows, the more you understand how results can work for you, how you can get results when it comes to digital marketing. So conversion window is a time where it takes a complete stranger to become a paying customer. So what that means is that you found out about DMSI today, Digital Marketing Skill Institute. You might not pay us for our course today, right? But in 2 weeks' time or 3 weeks' time, you see our ad again. You click on it and then you call, you make an inquiry, you still don't pay us, right? And then in 4 weeks' time, you actually see our adverts again, you click on it and then you actually pay us. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have to understand that how long it takes an average customer to actually convert, right? So that expectations can be managed between the employer and the employee. Because once you don't understand that, you are like, oh, I just gave you 1,000 naira, 100,000 naira to run ads. This Friday, I've not seen anything, no sale has come in. But meanwhile, your type of business, it might take an average of 41 days for results to actually come. It might take 20 days, it might take 10 days, it might take, and majority of it happens. So there are different factors that affect conversion windows. It could be pricing, it could be demand, it could be the value of the product, it could just be the marketing strategy, marketing communication itself, right? Does it communicate to that person's problem, desire, pain point, and things like that? So there's so many things that affect, and you know, when we talk about marketing, we look at it from a funnel. So what that means is that 1 million people might see your ad, right? Or more, 1 million people might get to know about you, might find you on Google, but not 1 million people will buy from you, right? So maybe out of that 1 million people, about 100 will really want to buy from you at the end of the day. So you have to also understand what your conversions are, so that you can look at where to optimize aside from the conversion windows, and look at how you can continually shorten the window. So at a very good, if you're going to hire a very good digital marketer, it has to be able to have an idea about what a conversion window is, what it needs to do at every particular point in time to try to reduce that conversion window, and how to get the result. For digital marketers that are, my advice for digital marketers is focus on results, right? Because when you focus on results, you get more results. One of the first job I did it for free, right? I focused on ensuring that person got results. When the person was going to refer me to someone else, the money I was going to charge the person that she referred me to paid me like ×4 of that amount, right? So when you do good work, people would notice and people would talk about you, people would share information about you, and most importantly, you would make the money back, right? So understanding delayed gratification and how it works could also be of tremendous benefit as well. So it's not like you would make money. I'm not saying that you won't make money, but you have to understand that, when you prove yourself, money is gonna come, and people would run after you. They'll be willing to pay anything to have you be on their table, on their board, to eat with them, to do anything with them, and things like that.